Canada, definitely a lot of research needed. I feel like Europe definitely is kind of a bear just because of all of the regulations. You have to decide how many oils you really want to launch in that country and language requirements. Let's see. Australia wasn't too difficult with essential oils. You did have some difficulties with sensitivities in essential oils and needing additional warnings for Australia and restrictions. That was sometimes a problem where they have limits on the amount, and so I mean when it's 100% of an essential oil and they say it can only be 25%, then you run into more problems.
Let's see. What anything in South America to generalize or no?
South America, they were just starting into. I think they're still working towards that more. They were doing Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, and those were generally pretty straightforward. Hong Kong definitely was very straightforward and pretty quick. Japan, again, it depends on the specific essential oil.
What about Korea? Have any experience there?
Yes. With Korea, that one was definitely more complicated. There's a lot of requirements regarding font size, which made it very difficult on those tiny, tiny bottles. And then
big letters, little bottles.
Yeah, and really, I mean, the labels would look really weird with the font size. I mean, it would throw off the proportions of everything, and so that was a unique challenge. And definitely with the categories between trying to go for cosmetics versus the others, it was difficult because they do have some lists that they would refer to, but we were having a hard time getting a lot of the information translated that we could delve into, and so we were relying pretty heavily on consultants to relay the information and the updated regulations as they came. So China.
And when you were using consultants, did you in this space, did you have to find a consultant that knew about essential oils for foods, and then a different one that knew about it for topical use, and a different one knew about it for aromatherapy, or in general, you were able to find people who know all of those in a specific country?
Sorry, I feel like I'm a broken record. It varied from country to country. There were a couple where we would get lucky, and they had a broad enough base so we could give all of our products to them, and they were able to help us. And then other ones, it was you would have a consultant for supplements, you would have one for cosmetics, you would have one for foods, for the general goods, and so that was definitely a challenge. And I guess the advantage is that because of all of the work that doTERRA has done internationally, it's probably paved the way so that there's a lot more consultants who are used to working with essential oils now, whereas many of them hadn't dealt with it before.
I see.
And so we would teach them about essential oils and the nature of essential oils, and they would try and guide us to the right regulations that would apply.
Are there trade associations that deal with essential oils?
I want to say there are. I don't remember off the top of my head. The main issue with some of those in doTERRA was that many of them did not advocate for internal use. And so that was always a difficult thing with doTERRA. That was such a big part for doTERRA. So I think they were members of different associations at one point. I don't know if they still are. Just because of the different
but there are not obvious ones that represent the industry, it sounds like.
No, not very obvious. And because the research is just so limited on the different uses, there really are so many different opinions and schools of thought on whether certain oils are okay for different uses. One thing, just random throwing it out there, citrus oil